Okay. Well, before we start the class, perhaps we still need to wait a few more minutes to wait for the other participants to come. Right?
It's always a good thing.
Has everyone gathered here?
Um, wait. We still have to admit some people.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, so ready. Okay. I think that's too far. Okay, good evening, everyone. Hi, Britzoners.
Hi.
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 Hello.
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 Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, welcome. I want to say
Hi.
welcome to the Britzone Tuesday class. And thank you so much for coming to this class to join us tonight. And well, before we start the class, we're going to start with the announcement as usual. So bear with me for a few minutes. All right. Once again, I want to say hello and welcome to all of the newcomers here. Thank you so much for joining our class today. And yeah, for those who don't really know Britzone, I will tell about this. Okay, Britzone is a nonprofit organization which focusing on English education and young empowerment, which is powered by so many inspiring committees and conductors who are all volunteers. And Britzone is an open platform where everyone from various backgrounds can just come and join us to practice. So don't hesitate to join us. And not only Britzone's class is free of charge, but we're also trying our best to make Britzone a place that is free of judgment. So don't be afraid to practice with us because we are free of judgment. Okay, we have several classes for each week. Our main program consists of three classes. The first one is Tuesday online class. It starts at 7 p.m. Um, it focuses on public speaking, such as debate, speech, interview, etc. We also have another class. It's Wednesday online class. It starts at 7 p.m. It touches all four skills in English through class series like listening, speaking, reading, and writing. We also have another class. It's Saturday online class. It starts at 11 a.m. We bring various topics for weekly talks to encourage your speaking. So please come to these classes. All right. We are also available on social media platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and also our website. It's britzone.id. But I'd like to tell you that our main platform currently is Instagram. So make sure you follow our Instagram. It's at britzone.id. Well, as a nonprofit organization, we are sustaining our community with several fundraising programs like Busy Merch and Busy Mart. But I would like to remind you that Busy Mart right now, because of this pandemic situation, we're currently not available. But we sell some merchandises is at Busy Merch. We are selling. Can you show the other slide? Yes, we are selling T-shirts, facial mask, and also lanyard with limited time design. So make sure you follow Britzone merch and buy our cool merchandises there. All right. So Britain has been supported by the Library of Education and Culture Ministry for years. You can find so many books and audio collections there, and they're available online now. So please check them out on Instagram. It's at Perpustakaan Dikbud and follow them, and you can get all of the benefits from them. We're also supported by Atmago application. It's a social network application in Indonesia that helps people to share neighborhood issues with its campaign Warga Bantu Warga. It's available on Android and iOS, so please download this app because this is a very beneficial app for all of you guys. Okay, we also have traditions. So Britain has traditions. The first one is taking class photos after the class session ends, and we usually give feedback. So please, after the class ends, give us feedback that you can find at bit.ly/Britain virtual feedback. We will send the site on WhatsApp group. Okay, that's the end of the announcement. Thank you so much for listening. And then we go to the next session. Well, before we start, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Putri Amelina. You can call me Putri, and I will be your MC for tonight's class. And I will also introduce you to our inspiring conductor. He's over there. We please clap for him virtually. All right, before we start the class, our
Thank you.
conductor today, he is an experienced training consultant of CCT and also an experienced English teacher and course instructor. Well, there he is. Jamie. Hi, Jamie.
Hello.
How's
Hi, thank you
everything?
so much for that, Pooja. I have not been called inspiring in a very long time.
Yes,
I
you
know.
are.
So thank you for that. Hello to everybody. It's lovely to be here. So today we are going to be looking at the future of work. And we'll be looking at jobs after COVID-19. Before we begin, though, I like to always begin my classes by giving people a bit of a downer and making them go, oh. So to start off with, guys, we are going to be talking about jobs after COVID-19, but we are also going to be thinking about them in terms of hopefully before the next pandemic, whatever that is. This is something that we all need to be aware of. Our generation is going to be the generation that is going to have to deal with multiple disasters coming up. We're going to have to deal with automation, jobs going away because of robots. We're going to have to deal with climate change, which is going to eradicate a large parts of the economy, not to mention potentially the country as well. And we are also looking in the not too distant future to algorithms basically taking over the world. Not in a Terminator form, but more in a form of everything will change. So, does everybody feel depressed now?
No,
I'm looking at people's faces and I'm seeing a little bit of depression. So let's move
No, not
beyond that now.
really.
Oh, good. I'm glad that you're not depressed. You are. I salute your optimism in the face of the world at this point. So let's actually look at how we can start making the best of this situation. First off, Pooja, you already did a wonderful job of introducing me, so thank you for that. But beforehand, I would also like to mention, as you mentioned earlier, I work with CCT, which is Corporate Community Training. And I just want to make people absolutely clear, I am not Ed Sheeran. Now, you can see very clearly here from this photo of Ed Sheeran and from this photo over here of not Ed Sheeran, that I am not actually Ed Sheeran. So if there's any confusion about that, please kind of consider these two photos. Keep that aware. And just in case any of you are confused, I'm going to change my name. Not Ed Sheeran. There you go. Hopefully you guys will now no longer be at all confused about this. So yeah, you can see by these two photos. So I like to begin by getting people to get to know each other. So let's have a breakout room. Let's get to know each other. Let's have a chat. Let's ask each other a couple of questions, learn about things. I want you guys to all decide what is the celebrity you most look like or the celebrity you would most like to be when you're in the breakout rooms. You can have a discussion together to tell each other what you think. And then while you're in the breakout rooms, I'd like you to change your name to your name, not celebrity, as I've done. together. I would also like you guys to decide on a group name. This is going to be your group. There are going to be points. The teams are going to be fighting each other, so make sure you come up with a good group name. And I want you guys also to pick a leader. One person to be the leader. They should not be the facilitator. And I'm going to give you an extra 5 minutes to discuss, from your opinion, why you think finding a job is difficult. So at which point I will hand it over to you, Putri. Do you mind creating the breakout rooms, and we will go to the next step?
Yes. Maybe first of all, I
Thank
would
you.
like to introduce all you to our facilitators.
Ah,
The first group is Fanny. Hi, Fanny.
Hi.
Hi. The second group is Dika. Hi, Dika.
Hi.
Okay. The third group is Ram.
Hi.
Ram. Okay. The fourth facilitator is Yosi. Yosi, are you there?
Hello. Yes.
Okay, thank you. And the last one, last but not least, is the prettiest girl in here, KM, Drew Barrymore. Hi. Okay, so Tra, are you ready to make the FGD, to make the breakout room?
All right, let's do that.
let's do this. We will see you all on the other side. Good discussions, everyone.
Anyway, you almost make me cry. You always make me crazy since the name are different. So I was
Oh, I'm
confused.
sorry.
Who's the facilitator? Oh my gosh. But
Oh,
it's
I am
okay.
so sorry about that.
It's all right.
I've messed
We can
with
work
your
it out.
system.
It's all right. It's okay. Okay. So all right. This is the main
All right.
room.
Yeah, this is the main room, consisting of, who is Anna Sakar? Is that
She is going
Anna
to
Sakar and Prahesti?
Prahesti and Anna. Please accept the breaking room.
Okay, Anna
All right.
and
So
Prahesti.
maybe we can still keep
Please.
going.
Yeah. Okay, so Jamie, you said that you would like to talk with the famous person in Britzone,
Yes. When we
and
were
he's
discussing it
here with
last
us.
night, indeed.
Yes,
And
he's
when we
here with
discussed
us.
it earlier, you said the most beautiful member of Britzone.
Yeah, true.
We'll,
Beautiful.
we'll, we'll change it to handsome then. Yes, the most handsome member of Britzone.
Yeah, and he
So,
is
mhm.
Santo.
Did you
Yeah.
even say that too?
He's the shaman.
Okay.
No wonder
Okay.
why he's shaman.
Yeah,
Nah.
indeed.
It's
Um,
okay.
so,
Hello. Yeah.
hello. Hey, it's yes. Unfortunately, we did have a discussion yesterday about it, and we were discussing it back and forth, and we did use those terms, but that's okay. We'll say that beauty is multi-gendered at this point.
Yeah. I agree with
So,
that.
Britzone is about discussion, about being open and free. So I'm interested to hear from you guys your opinion on this.
Mhm.
Some of you are maybe a little beyond finding your first job, but I'd be interested to hear from your opinion. This last question: why do you think it's difficult to find a job now, especially for young graduates?
Okay. Who wants to try first? Okay. Let me start with the
Mhm.
my opinion first, probably.
Please.
During this time of pandemic, I think it's getting difficult to get the job, especially for younger people, because first of all, they there are a lot more. There are lots of more competitors out there
Mhm.
nowadays, because I think it's easier for people to graduate from the university now,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and then there are larger number that people are graduating before the pandemic. So it's yeah, there are lots of competitors. First of all, in the meantime, the what do we call it? The availability of the jobs are decreasing.
Mhm.
So yeah,
So
it's a
you've got
yeah,
increased competition and a decrease in the number of jobs,
sure,
which
yeah,
means more and more people are going to be unhappy, which I think is, yeah, that is a very important aspect of it, is that you've got more and more people chasing fewer and fewer jobs. And
hmm,
especially with the pandemic, we can add into that, it's not just fresh graduates fighting fresh graduates, it's
true,
fresh graduates fighting fresh graduates and people who have lost their work because their company went under or their company downsized. And because of that, you're just increasing the number uh, vastly more.
hmm.
Yeah, no, that is a very important point. I'll throw the question to you, Putri, and Charlie. I like your name now. And that, do you have? Why else do you think it's difficult to find a job in this, especially in this day and age? So
Wow,
we've
that's
mentioned the very
yeah.
important point about competition, fewer jobs.
Mhm.
What would you
Yeah.
guys say would be part of the reason?
Yeah. Probably I'm actually one of the one of the people who is affected by this
Hmm.
pandemic and employment. Yeah, my contract was terminated, so I have to be a job seeker, and yeah, it's quite hard for me to
Hmm.
get a new job since a lot of companies they cut off their and they do the layoff, so it's kind of hard sometimes for me to get a job, but they are still opportunity if we keep searching and searching, and
Hmm.
yeah, there uh, maybe it's not the equal number of the available job and also the people who are currently looking for a job, but the thing is it's it's everything about the our creativity like what we should do uh
Hmm.
beside looking for job, or yeah, we can do
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Agree with it.
that's a very good point there. Would you like to add anything else to that, Putri, or do you
Yeah.
think
I
they've
think
covered most of the things?
maybe I am the representative of fresh graduate because I just graduated this
Hmm.
year. So I graduated
Yeah.
after the pandemic started. And then, yeah, I tried to look for job and I have so many offer. I don't know why, but it doesn't affect me because my major is pharmacy.
Hmm.
So because of this pandemic, there are um, so many companies that needs pharmacy assistants. But I choose to be a teacher because I want to be an educator.
Oh,
um,
okay.
yeah, but I think based on the facts on the ground, um, the high unemployment rate in Indonesia caused by um, inability to compete, like what Santo has said, and also the
Hmm.
lack of skills because we
Hmm.
graduate too easily. Even some of my friends didn't even study at their university. They just graduate. They just pay for the certificate,
I think
and yeah,
that's a very interesting point, what you said
yeah,
there, but that it is
yeah.
too easy to graduate. Now,
Mm.
not to say that some of your friends aren't lazy, which was the kind of subtext you were implying there.
In different
Uh,
university, I mean.
in different university, of course, the different one. But I also think that that's a very interesting point that you can actually dig deeper into there. The fact that people are graduating without the skills that they absolutely need, or to change the wording slightly, they are graduating without the experience necessary to get the job, get the jobs that they have the skills for. Um, I mean, this was an experience when I first graduated, oh, decades ago. Back in ancient history in 2004, ancient history, oh, nobody was alive back then. But when I first graduated, and this is not unique to Indonesia, it also exists, I think, in Europe and in Scotland as well. When I first graduated, I had a lot of skills. I was very well qualified, but I didn't have any experience. And all the jobs I was applying for required 1-2 years experience in order to get in. And fundamentally, I think for a lot of people, that is the major hurdle for them to get a job, is that all the entrance level jobs require you to have a certain level of experience. I don't know, would you say that that's your experience, Tra, who is now Charlie?
Sorry.
Would you say that that's your experience, that you're applying for jobs, but you're seeing them and they require 1-2 years worth of experience?
Yeah, like that. Mostly like
Mhm.
that. Like having an experiences in the
Mhm.
related uh in the related field. That is what I like
Mhm.
that.
Which is, I believe, the fundamental problem in modern society, is that students are not being given the experience that allows them to walk into jobs. There is that barrier, that hump that they have to jump over. They have to get that 1-2 years. Sometimes, I mean, if you're going to be a teacher in a major organization, sometimes they ask for 5 years of teaching experience, which was my first experience when you will have known me when I was at EF, was I needed to get 5 years of experience. I basically had to take a year out and just tutor people in order to get that experience. Now, I was lucky and could do that, but a lot of people aren't able to take away that time. And so that's the major problem that we're having. Add on to that, lots of people searching for fewer and fewer jobs. Add on to that, the difficulty of people not hiring. So many. Hello, Jon Snow.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone.
With
Hi.
How
not
was the
Afghan. Oh,
discussion?
okay.
I'm back, everyone. I'm
Yeah.
glad you're back.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. So going through here. Oh, hello, not Brad Pitt. And that's. Are you sure? Are you sure you're not Brad Pitt?
I don't know. Someone said that I look like Brad Pitt. I
Hey,
don't
hey.
know enough celebrity, so
Well, if
Just
somebody
kind of
says you
Bruce
look like
Willis,
Brad Pitt,
Schwarzenegger,
just take it.
Stallone, Van Damme. It's all kind of the 1980s actor movies.
Hey,
Mm,
yeah.
I go with
I'm
it.
not.
Go with.
Yeah, I'm not
fantastic.
reading any celebrity, man. So give me a
Well,
break.
you've
As you
got
can
you've
see.
got the strong jawline. You're covering the thing. Would you mind telling me what your group's name was? Or did you
I
guys come up with a group name?
I don't think we decide on a group name. I think.
Okay, at which point I am going to give you the power, nay, the privilege of choosing a group name for your group.
Okay.
So, I mean,
We have picked a leader, but we haven't decided on a group name.
Very
I'm
good, not
circumventing the
so very
leader.
good.
Okay.
I'm circumventing the leader at this point. It
Okay.
can be any name. What's your favorite color?
Black, I think.
Black. Okay. What's your favorite animal?
Oh,
Animal?
Mm,
cat could
Cat.
be.
Okay, you guys are the black cats.
Okay.
Good
Nice.
choice. There we are. Okay, we've got your group name. I will stop bullying you, Asto, who's not Brad
No,
Pitt,
no,
and
you're not
I'll go.
bullying me. It's okay.
Fair enough. I'm going to go down the list and see. Oh, okay, who can I say? Oh, Adele is a facilitator, so I like it, but I'm not going to ask it. Let's scroll down a bit. Multi. Oh, that's a very famous name. I'm going to go down a little further. Let's see. Mahar Zain. Hi, how are you doing?
Wow.
I'm good.
I'm good. Oh, great. I'm glad to hear that. Um, I assume that is your real name at this point. Can I ask you, what is your group called?
Uh, we we haven't decided about our group name.
Okay, so you know the pattern. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Blue. Okay, what's your favorite animal?
Mm, Ikan cupang.
Okay. The blue can. Fair enough.
Fish.
Yeah, no. Go. Like, here's the thing. You can do that in English. You can take
Okay.
the Bahasa word for something
Okay.
and put it in as long as it's not a direct.
Ikan cupang.
translation. Okay. Blue ikan.
Ikan cupang.
I'm
Beta.
realizing I'm having difficulty with my Indonesian
Beta
here.
fish.
Beta in English.
Beta fish. Sorry.
Bitter fish. Okay. The blue fishes. Great. Would you mind telling me who your leader is?
I don't know. Maybe you can ask our facilitator, Diki.
Yeah.
Hi, Dika. Who was the facilitator?
Not
Okay.
Al Pacino.
Facilitator was me.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Who was decided to be the leader?
Okay, the leader.
You have the power now. You can put it down.
Ivana Gabriela. Do you want to be a leader? I choose Ivana Gabriela. Also Emma Watson, aka
Hello, Ella Charlotte Watson.
Emma Watson.
I'm so glad that you're willing to improve your English. You must have such a busy schedule going from film set to film set. Anyway, if it's okay, I'm going to ask you, like, are you a fresh graduate? Are you a university student?
Me?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah. I'm university student, but I also work as a pharmacist assistant.
Okay. So you're already in the position that you found a job. Was it easy for you?
Actually, I'm not work now. Apa ini
Okay.
kan bahasa Inggrisnya apa, Kak?
Let me see as assistant maybe for
Assistant, yeah.
the teacher. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, that's great. We'll come back to you in a bit, but thank you very much for that. So I want to open it up to the floor now. And just ask people, could I ask you guys to put into the comments what your group decided was why you found why finding a job is so difficult? Can I ask people to type it into the comments and we'll go on to the next section?
Yeah,
and then later on we can respond to it. But thank you very much, Emma Watson. Again, thank you for joining this. You have so many movies. And that's it. And we'll go on to the next slide. So I want to start actually thinking about what jobs are at this point. It's important to start realizing that jobs come from someplace. So where do jobs come from? Do we plant CVs into the ground and then a job grows out of the earth? No. Jobs come from companies. They come from organizations, from charities, from governments, from departments. And then we have to ask ourselves, how are these organizations able to provide us with work? And if we focus then on that point, we realize that really jobs are about money, and almost all jobs are about us showing that how we can help an organization make money. Fundamentally, jobs are about us helping the company to make more money so that they can pay us money so that they can make more money. And this is an important aspect of applying for jobs. Now in the pandemic, after the pandemic, it's always important to show to your boss how your job makes them money or makes the company money. It's all about that money. Now, I haven't picked on anybody for a while, so I'm going to scroll down through the participants until I find the name. Oh, hey, Eric. How are you doing? I don't know. I want to ask about Shinya Ringo, maybe. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. You are maybe Ringo? I'm a little bit confused by the name.
Yeah, because I'm not sure if I resemble her.
I don't know the person that you're referring to, but I'm sure you do. If not in looks, then in soul. Deep down, I'm sure you have the soul. If
Okay.
you don't
thank-
mind, I'm going to ask you a question at this point. Don't worry about the answer. There is no wrong answer to this. I just want to get your opinion on this. So my first question is, which do you think is more useful to society? An Instagram influencer, sorry,
Mhm.
or a rubbish collector?
Rubbish collector.
Okay, would you mind explaining maybe a little bit why you think a rubbish collector is more useful?
A rubbish collector. Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. In my opinion, why rubbish collector is more useful to the society is because they can help to do the waste recycling, and then it also help our environment to be clean, and we don't have to think that we have to like do the recycle and stuff, but they really help us with their job. So I will give the biggest compliment to the rubbish collector since they help us in a real way. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, I think that's a really good answer. It's not to say that Instagram influencers aren't useful.
Yeah.
Speaking as an influencer, no, I'm not an influencer. I have like 400 followers. That's it.
Whoa.
I am whatever a baby Instagram influencer is. But yeah, that's very good. They're very useful. There's a fascinating story if you read up on New York, where during the lockdown, like there's been no office workers, there's been no lawyers for the first couple of months. Like nobody was doing any work, but the city ran pretty much okay because the rubbish collectors went on. I think it was about 10 years ago, the rubbish collectors in New York went on strike and the city shut down within 27 hours. So we need to understand about which is what is useful and what isn't. I have one more question for you, Shinya, Ringo, maybe.
Okay.
That's okay. Who gets paid more, the influencer or the rubbish collector?
Um, it's hard because it depends. I think if the Instagram influencer has like until millions of followers, probably they can get the money more. But we also cannot underestimate the work of rubbish collector because someone who runs or who own their like rubbish collector by themselves and they hire like people to collect the trash, actually they can be also have more money than the ordinary people. So it
I like
depends,
it.
I think. Yeah.
It's a good answer. I absolutely agree with that answer. I'm going to slightly change it a little bit, and I'm going to define rubbish collector as the people who pick it up, not the people who hire other people. But
Oh, okay.
the answer that you gave was perfect within the context that I gave, within that thing. But if I change it to just the people who pick up rubbish, who makes more money usually?
Yeah, if you change it, then we can say that the Instagram influencer, since they already have the title influencer, means they have lots of followers than ordinary people, so they can make the best of money. Yeah, better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what am I trying to say by this? What I'm trying to say is that for you guys, for everybody listening here who's looking for a new job, looking good is more important than being good when you're applying for a job. It's a sad fact of reality that if we valued things as they truly were, rubbish collectors would get 60 million a month. But we don't, and society doesn't, and that's a problem, but it's not a problem that we can fix in this presentation. But so this is what we need to be aware of, that it's how we look, usually when it comes to jobs, not what we're actually like or what our abilities are like. So thank you very much, Ringo. And that's if I will go to you for your answer, because that was very well put.
Thank you.
Very welcome. Right. So if we're thinking through it, jobs are about money, they're about how you make money for the company, but it's also about appearance, how you look, how you dress, what you're doing. And these are going to be equally important after the pandemic is over as they are before. And they are very important now when we are moderated through the camera. Now, you guys might not be able to see this, but I'm not wearing socks. I'm not even wearing shoes at this point. My bare feet, I'm going to point at them, but I'm not going to show you guys it. And that's it. What matters is what can be seen. And that's an important thing for people, for you guys to kind of think about when you're applying for work. So I'm going to kind of move us on a little quicker than usual. I'm sorry to this, guys. We're not going to have as much time to discuss things as before. But I want to think about, okay, how do companies adapt to disasters? Let's go down a little bit, go through the things. There's it. I don't know. I've already, yeah. Shall I pick on Sarah? Yeah, I'm going to pick on Sarah. Hello, Sarah. Not Leanne Ann.
I knew
How
you'd
are you
pick.
doing?
I'm good.
Yeah,
How are you?
I was always going to pick. So I'm going to, again, the same as before. I want to say that whatever answer you give doesn't really matter. What I want to hear is your opinion. How do companies adapt? How do they change to disasters?
I suppose they also look at how the economic growth is doing.
Yes.
Yeah, try to adapt it by deciding whether they have to lay off some employees or gain new employees or produce more, produce less, etc. That's how I
Exactly.
think it. Yeah.
They downsize,
Yeah,
so they fire off people that they don't need. They stop hiring, and they focus on what makes them money. And then again, this comes back to what you guys are going to need to focus on when you are applying for jobs. You need to demonstrate to people that you are going to be part of the money-making regime of their company. So yeah, that was a perfect answer. Thank you very much, Sarah. And that's it. I promise there will be an event where I don't pick on you, but today is not that day. So companies, they focus on what makes them money. Once generally in a disaster, and we're going to count the pandemic as a disaster because it is for most companies. First thing they will do is they downsize, then they stop all hiring procedures, and they focus on what makes them money. They'll do that for about 6 to 8 months, at which point they will start to equalize. At that point, they tend to start looking into new potential revenue sources. If you're looking at big companies at this point, it's always interesting to see about the 6-month point, they'll start trying to develop new products, or they'll try and readjust the products that they already have. This is a pretty standard system for most companies, because after the 6 months, they've kind of feel they've come over the disaster, and then they start to look into growth potential. However, once the disaster is gone, it takes them a very long time to shift out of that mode of thought. Generally, you're looking at a year and a half before companies will start to fall back into the usual hiring procedures. Again, I said at the start that this is a kind of depressing talk, and it is really depressing about this stuff, but be aware that most companies, most standard large companies are not going to be looking to hire new people at low levels, at least into 2021, potentially 2022. I think we can all take a moment to just kind of wipe away the tears. So for a lot of you guys, like big companies are going to be not necessarily the area that you want to go into. So instead, you're probably going to want to start looking into fresh startups, companies that are SMEs, so mid to medium-sized companies. These are the companies that at this point, for the next 8 to 12 months, that's what you want to be focusing on, because they're the ones who aren't they're not going to follow this pattern. If we take CCT, for example, we didn't downsize, we upsized. We took on Chris. Hello, Chris.
Hello.
And while we did indeed not hire anybody new after Chris, we did then start focusing on how we could spread out into the community. This is pretty normal for startups in this stage because they look at a pandemic and they think this is our chance to expand out. Big companies are closing up. So small companies and medium-sized companies look at this as long as they're doing okay and they can make money, they're the ones that look to expand. So if you can, try to go from middle to small companies at this stage. Again, for us, we looked at it and we were saying, oh, great, this is an opportunity for us. We can adjust what we're doing. We can focus on online stuff. We're able to do that because we've got very few employees. And we can start to focus on moving into new markets. And as we move into new markets, we get new clients, which then means that we're able to take on more people. This is the same for many startups and small to medium-sized businesses. So let's move on for a bit. I wonder, it's not only realizing that companies are changing, but also the jobs that they are going to be available for you guys are also going to change. So I'm going to put up a list of jobs here. We've got a pretty standard framework of these: farmers, police officers, teachers. Oh no. Social media influencers. I want you guys to go away into your groups at this point and to discuss these different jobs. I want you guys to think about how they will change, what will be different. Will they be paid more? Will they be paid less? How easy it will be to get these jobs. Try not to be general about it. How easy will it for you? Who have I not picked on in a while? Hi, Dick, not Al Pacino. I know you're a facilitator, but I'm going to pick on you because I like your name.
Yeah. Why?
Honest question. How easy would it be for you to become a farmer?
I think it's quite easy because a lot of people need some foods, need some grains.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, even though
great.
But if we are on a harvest, we can donate them to anyone who cannot afford the food.
Can I ask, are you in a big city right now?
Yes.
Or are you're in a big city?
In Jakarta.
You're in Jakarta. Hey, great, I'm in Jakarta. I will wave to you from this other side.
Hi.
So in order to become a farmer, then you're going to need to go out into the countryside, find a bit of land that isn't being used and start planting there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to be very easy for you to kind of shift to that. Maybe it might be easy if you get hired by somebody. But I think it might be a little bit difficult to make that transition. And so I think from a personal end, it might be it. But here's the thing. Urban gardening is a hip and upcoming thing. And that's so while you're in the breakout room, I want you to do a quick Google of urban gardening and see if you can, and urban farming, and see how many results come up. I want, I'm sorry I picked on you for this, but I want to go through for everybody. Go through these jobs. Think about how easy would it be for you to get into them? Because I think for you going out to the countryside would be very difficult, but I think you starting a small urban farm making chili could be quite easy. Have a look. Go in depth for it. Anyway, thank you for being volunteered there and that stuff. But yeah, do a quick Google of that. See how many options come up. At which point, Threa, would it be okay if we start putting people into breakout rooms at this point?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So.
All right, everyone. Yeah, just go on, Jamie.
No, please carry on.
Yeah, we're gonna have a breakout room for 10 minutes. The second breakout room for 10 minutes, and please make sure you choose the leader if you haven't before, and also, choose your group name. Okay. You will We will give you 10 minutes for that.
Okay, I'll
Okay, that's all.
wait until people go through.
Yeah. Okay, it's the main room right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll wait for it to go through.
All right, Jamie, I think the question is very interesting. And but what comes up to my mind is
Mm-hmm.
why do you choose this kind of jobs?
Why did I choose these
Yeah.
kind of jobs?
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, they were pretty much at random. Um, I picked a couple of them. So HR officer, that I picked for a specific reason. Call center operator, that was a specific reason. OJEC, also specific reason. And then I tried to fill it out. And the reason I picked farmer was because I think it's something that it's very dependent upon the situation around you. And that's of which is why when I was talking to Vic there, I wanted him to kind of look in more in depth into what the situation is like in cities for farms. Because it's not entirely impossible, but it does require a shift. But mostly I kind of just was like thinking, oh, okay, let's go through different jobs and see what happens with them.
Okay. Do you think these jobs will survive in this kind of pandemic situation?
A lot of them won't, in a way that is available for the fresh graduates. If we're thinking about them in terms of things that a person who's just come out of university can apply to, probably not. So let's go through a couple of these jobs step by step. Farmers. The reason I was so harsh there was that it's quite, unless you are specifically doing a degree in agriculture, there is no direct route in for you to do it. You literally have to go and find somebody who is a farmer and ask to work for them. And that's quite a large leap for a lot of people to be able to do. Let's go on to HR officers. Do I think HR? I don't think HR officers are going to exist after the next decade, or at least they're not going to exist in their current form. Because what are human? I'm going to turn this question back on you. What are human resource officers there for? Why do they exist?
Maybe Santo can explain it because his
To
major
sort out.
psychology.
Mm-hmm.
Sort out.
Okay. No, I have an internship program before in an HR intern. So yeah, it's kind of, HR officers
Hey.
recruit humans. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
most likely in the next decade, there will be like as many as human as we have now. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple of things I would say. I mean, I think it will have changed though, because I think linked into that you got recognize that HR officers are there to serve the company, not necessarily to support the workers, which is I think a shift that at its best HR is there to enable people to work harmoniously with each other, and I think there will always be a place for somebody who does that. So that aspect of it, I think, will exist. But I think the kind of legal construct that HR represents, which is it's there to navigate the conflicts that arise at work, simply it will be easier for companies to hire through an online process, basically go to their LinkedIn and say yes or no to that, and then get the boss to interview them, or the situation for most workers will that they will be the equivalent of Gojek drivers, because that would be the situation for most office workers, is that you would do your work but then be hired out to different companies via the contract route. Right. And in the same way that there aren't any HR officers for Gojek drivers, I don't think most office workers will similarly, it won't be worth the money to hire people to be HR officers in the future. Again, this is dependent on technology developing, on the systems going, but I think it's very similar to call center operators. You can already see certain companies working around breakups for call centers. Google doesn't have a call center. Microsoft doesn't have a call center. The large companies that can automate it through AI are already doing that. Is there going to be room for psychologists? Yes, and they're going to be more and more important as the future goes on, because that's an aspect that has been poorly served at this point. But will HR in its traditional format of being the hiring, firing dynamics, I don't know that there will be in most companies a traditional place in the hierarchy for that. Because I think the situation is mostly people are going to be the equivalent of Gojek drivers. This is depressing. But yeah, no, I think it is a very important thing. And as you say, the psychological side of supporting workers, of creating a good environment will be as important as ever. But even there, it's probably going to be contracted out. You'll get a company that contracts out to multiple different other companies, the HR pattern for it. And then you have one person who is responsible for the dynamics in multiple companies. In the same way that tech is mostly now subcontracted out to different companies from an original one. Again, depressing things. Could be wrong. So this is the unfortunate silence that follows one of those expressions. But could I turn it back to you guys? What do you think is going to happen to OJECs?
To OJ.
Are they going to change? Are they going to improve?
Yeah, I think they're going to transforming into to deliver food.
Mm-hmm.
I just Googled what you say about urban farming, and I think it's really exciting. We can grow healthy food by ourselves, and we can grow high quality food.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think every person in the city will do that?
I don't know. Where's the money coming from? How do you make money through it? That would be the thing. I think it's a good thing for us to do. I think we would be happier, healthier, more mentally balanced if we all became semi-farmers. Hello, Jason Stephen. But I'm not sure, how do you encourage people to do it without the money? You could set up a situation wherein it becomes, again, a bit like Gojek, like Grab, where it subcontracts out and everybody is following the same procedure for farming. And then it just simply, the algorithm will decide what's the closest farm of that product, urban farm of that product to the restaurant, and then you'd get an order, and then the app would take it over. But I'm not sure how you would monetize that. I think it is exciting. I think the urban farms themselves will have to will be monetized through a different mechanism at some form. Again, I don't know. What about teachers?
Yeah, what about teachers?
Santiago, not Sean Mendes. What do you think is going to happen to teachers? This is going to hit close to home.
Yeah, funny thing is I am also currently a teacher, so yeah. Considering of what is happening right now, it's lots of, we are definitely facing a huge transition between offline and online classes. And since I don't think many schools or many education institution deal with it pretty well, mostly in the small cities, not in Jakarta, because in big cities I'm pretty sure that the education institution can manage pretty well. But since I don't think the demand from the students, the learners, they prefer to have it online or offline. I think it does have it does matter, because I think there are still many students who prefer to have it on offline classes. So I don't think it's going to change that much for the teachers. I think it's only more of the platform that can be flexible.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that that's going to be a thing because I think we, I agree. I think we all hate Zoom now. I mean, Zoom is great,
Yeah,
but all
yeah,
of
I
us
agree.
hate Zoom at this point. I mean, it's a wonderful thing. It's saved our lives in so many ways, but oh my God, I hate Zoom so much. Please sponsor us soon. No, wait a second. These videos aren't sponsored. Anyway, there's a really good point. So at which point, who have I not picked upon in a while? Oh, hi, Denny Hardy. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name.
Denny Herdi Priyatna.
Oh,
This
okay.
is
Hey,
only
Denny
my
Hardy
name.
Priyatna.
Herdi Priyatna. Just call
Okay.
people. My friend call me Denny. Denny.
Okay. I if it's okay, I will call you Denny then.
Yes.
So Denny, you're obviously already a celebrity, so you don't need to change your name.
All right.
And then
So
can
what we
I so I want to
what?
I'm going to pick one of these jobs at random, and as always
And what?
within these things, I want to hear your opinion. Don't worry about so much
No
about
problem.
whether it's
No problem.
absolutely
It's all right.
what here's my question: how do you think the job of police officers are going to
So I
change
have to change after the police. When as a police officer can serve the protect the civilians all the civilians and then without a mask so so it rules it must be use the mask as well and as safety as is the safe for safety in
especially
the
now.
public work and rendezvousing the whole in the main city by SWAT the special forces of police officers police they are
Do you
numbers
think it will? Could I ask a second part of that question? How easy do you think it will be to get a job?
Yeah.
As a police officer in the future.
So in the future, so I think the police as as we as I intend that the police officer to in the COVID-19 to reduce all the traffic jams and the crowded in the public places and of course is we have to say to serve the protect the law from this law enforcement
Okay.
for enforcement
Thank you so much for your answer on that point.
All right. So in the
and that's
police, wait a minute. So in the police officer call that can be that the police officers that can be called the cop. You know cop?
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, absolutely.
The cop.
And
In the
that's
United States
that's
of America.
yeah.
Say that.
I was about to say that's more of a
Like that.
US way of describing it.
Right.
In Britain, we tend to either refer to them as bobbies or the polis as a ironic gesture. But thank you for your input. I'm going to move.
Have
thank
a
you
smile,
very
Jamie.
much. I will.
Smile.
Thank you very much for the thing. We'll have a chance to do photos later. So I'm sorry. I'm going to again pick on Dick, not Al Pacino.
Yes.
Hi. Did you have a chance to Google it?
Google what?
I Googled the urban farms.
Urban farms, yeah, I did.
Yeah. And I'm now getting Google kind of responding. Sorry about that. Yeah. Did you see any opportunities there?
Yeah, a lot of opportunities. Start from
there we go.
The beans, yeah, like mung beans, red beans. Yeah, for daily food, you can if you are afraid to go to market to buy, yeah, like beans or chilies, you can just plant it in your backyard. or small, yeah,
Yeah.
or small oranges. Yeah, just plant it
Hey,
uh, yeah, on your backyard. It's easy.
great. It's a good thing to do. At some
Yeah,
point in the future, we should do a lesson on urban farming because it's a very interesting subject.
yeah,
Okay. Thank you so
interesting.
much for your input on that and stuff. I would recommend people go and have a look up on it because it's very interesting. I'm going to move down. I'm going to move to the other Dickie, not Oliver Starr. Hiya. Oh, not Oliver Stark. I'm sorry. I've now seen the full thing. How are you doing? Oh, sorry. Could you say that again?
Great. Thanks for asking.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. You're quite quiet now.
Yeah, your volume.
Okay. What about now?
Perfect.
All right.
Okay. Last but not least. Okay. Shall we make it personal? Can I ask you, what do you think will happen to teachers in the future?
What will happen to the teachers in the future? I guess for
After
now,
COVID goes with.
yeah, I guess for now, most teachers are, teaching from using online platform like
Yeah.
Zoom, Blue Jeans, Google Meet, or Microsoft Team
Oh
and
my God.
else.
You hate all of them.
Yeah, we hate all of them now. And yeah, because I have a 3-year-old daughter, a preschooler, and the teacher should teach her using Zoom. So my kid doesn't really pay attention. But the monitor is too small. It's not interesting. You don't interact with other students.
Mm-hmm.
So the teacher will have some challenge how to get all the students to socialize and interact together. I mean, the meaning of friendship could be different. It means that I know him from Zoom, but I don't know
Yeah.
him personally.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be
And
most of the
mhm.
problem. That'll
Sorry.
be the problem the most, instead of teaching the materials.
Yeah, absolutely. And once we go back to schools after there's a vaccine, the problem there is that a lot of children have lost familiarity with interacting with other people. They're likely to get angry a lot more. They're likely to not be able to control their temper. I can barely control my temper, and I'm an adult at this point. I'm sure everybody here is kind of always finding it difficult on Zoom. When people cut out, it can be very annoying. But that becomes even worse for children when they go back to school and they've had a long time of not interacting with people, and so you put them together, they tend to end up fighting a lot. At least that's something that teachers are going to have to deal with. Not me, because I deal with adults, but for everybody who deals with young children, that's a very definite thing. So I salute you for looking out for your daughter.
Thank you.
Right. Right. Thank you very much for your answer. So let's move on at this point, because we're going to need to kind of move a little quicker through the things. Trends in the job industry, things that you guys are going to need to start focusing on as far as jobs. Automation and remote work are cheaper and more profitable. What does this mean? This means that if it can be automated, anything that can be automated will be automated. If you can turn a job into either a robot's job or an algorithm's job, then it will go. Small businesses are going to be hit hard, and they're going to have to integrate with online platforms. I'm not sure how many of you guys are small business owners, but this is something you to be aware of if you're going to interact with them. I know I said earlier that you guys need to start applying to small businesses. This is the time to start doing that if you have any skill in IT, because all small businesses are going to have to learn how to integrate with IT systems. Chris, you had an interesting point to make.
Right. So, yeah, regarding this one, some of my friends also have small businesses, and there's a saying: if it's not broken, don't fix it. And for small business, especially family business, things are, set in their ways in a way. Like you have a good system from your grandparents up to your father. Now it's your generation. Like it doesn't change a lot, and because of this situation, I think it's also like an opportunity for family business such as themselves to be a little bit vulnerable with change. So, like for example, let's say you have like a clothing store, in Mangadua, for example, and yeah, business are running great. Because of this situation, you are pushed to move to online platforms, whether you like it or not, or your business is going down. So I think in a way, it's the if there is any positive side to this pandemic is that it allow us to be more vulnerable to change, and sometimes change is not necessarily a bad thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. There are going to be a lot of small businesses that need to start integrating online systems. Now, for you guys, this probably means that you need to be able to know how to make a website, how to operate social media, and how to integrate with something like Grab or Gojek if it's a small business. These are not incredibly unique skills. Like all of us here, I suspect, have social media Instagram things, but there's a bunch of small businesses that have been doing business as they've been doing it since the mid 90s that really are not prepared to change to an online economy. And so if you can find those businesses, great, go at them, get that job in with them, go through their systems, get them online, set them up, and use that as the way to get your first year or two of experience, because that's going to be the thing that is going to then set you up for the future. If you can say you've worked for a small business for 1 to 2 years, you can get into most starter jobs in almost any industry with that. This is going to be the thing that is going to let you step forward into that work world. But be aware, the only safe jobs are those which make money through interaction. And those interactions can't be easily done by a robot, because if they can be done by a robot or a code, you don't have a job in 5 years. Again, this is a depressing talk. I am so sorry. But it's important to realize that if it's cheaper to turn it to get a robot or a code to do it, then a company will focus in on that. So if you don't get in with small to medium businesses within the next 5 years, you're probably not going to get a chance after that. Diversify here. I know people have been saying diversify your skill sets, make yourself adaptable. This doesn't mean that you have to learn an entirely new language or you have to do stuff, but make sure you know the basics of things like web coding, HTML, how to set up a program. Most of you guys are quite familiar with social media already. That's going to be part of your job in the future. Start bringing up about it. Start bringing up how you use social media to contact people, how to connect, how to make communities, because that's the thing that is going to be so important in the future. Right. So we come on to the last bit. We're not actually going to have 15 minutes for this because we've gone a bit too long. Instead, we're going to have 7 minutes for this. I want you guys, we're going to have a bit of a competition in your groups. I want you guys to decide on which jobs are going to be most in demand in the future. So by the future, we mean next year or 2022. And that's it. Which jobs are people going to most want to do? Which jobs are organizations going to want you to do? What are companies going to want you to do? And which jobs are going to have the highest and lowest pay? Because it's all about that money, isn't it? And which will society most need? Trey, again, if you don't mind, could we start setting people into breakout rooms?
Okay.
And and this will be 7 minutes, please.
7 minutes. Okay, Tra, you can divide them into the breakout room for 7 minutes.
All right. Let's get it started. 7 minutes.
Okay. I apologize. I went over a little bit earlier on. I spent too much time enjoying people's names. I'm
That's all
enjoying
right.
Malty's name. I don't know that. Not Priyanki Chopra.
Priyanka Chopra Jonas.
Nice. Nice. I'm gonna have to Google that later.
You don't know
Decide.
You don't know Priyanka Chopra Jonas,
I'm a
Jamie?
te-
You know her?
I think we've had this conversation in the past when we've done this form of it before, and I haven't Googled her since.
Oh
She's
my.
an Indian actress.
Yeah,
Who
she's my
married
wife.
who
I'm Nick
married
Jonas.
Jonas 10 years younger to her. It went viral. Like
Okay,
I am old. I'm from the 90s. I haven't been in these
who
situations.
you?
Yeah.
living under a rock.
I think you're stuck in Britney's era.
I am totally stuck in Britney's era. If you ask me who's Britney Spears, I can tell you it's the blonde woman over there. But yeah, no, I am I'm old. Anyway, so while we're on this point, I'm going to throw this question to you guys. What are the jobs that you think organizations are going to want, i.e., governments, corporations, charities? What is going to be the job that you think they're going to want the most at this point?
Can I answer? May I answer?
You can. No, you. Hey, go ahead. Whoever wants to, please.
I think IT related
Mm.
jobs are
Yeah.
really on demand in the future,
Yeah.
or maybe technology, something that's related to the technology, like engineering, or maybe like that.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that. Basically, I think we are in the situation that Charlemagne was in back 1500 years ago. Charlemagne was a great French German-esque king, and my understanding is, I'm not sure if this is absolutely true, but he never learned to read. But he saw that it was really important that his children learned to read so that they could look after his empire. And I think we are going to be viewed in a similar way. Like, we all know that technology is important, but none of us know how to code or program. I mean, I know a little HTML, but I couldn't really. I mean, I can make a website that looks like it's from the 90s because that's when I learned to code. But who here could code a mobile app? Anyway, I mean, I can't. I'm putting my hands up.
Me either.
And I do think learning how to code will be the learning how to read for future generations. It will be just something we have to do because we need to be able to interact with computers. Again, I feel a lot of this presentation is people looking into the distance and going, "Oh my word!" But I mean, that's not actually such a terrible thing. It's pretty clear what people need. And coding, I mean, at least at the basic level, is just maths. And we all learned maths, even though some of us hate it.
However, Jamie, this personally, on a personal level, this does concern me because I think we have had an exchange of dialogue on this subject.
Yes.
It is very clear that everything is going to be more computer oriented, technology oriented, which means that would require more people to sit in front of their computer. And it's one thing to code something simple, it's another to be coding something extensive. That could
all
require
day.
absolutely days, months, weeks, and this is not human. This is not healthy. And why this concerns me, then this would mean that I mean, if technology is one sector that's going to be in demand, then I also would like to imagine things like chiropractors would be more in demand because people are going to be it's going to be very sedentary. People are going to be sitting in front of the computer. This is not good for their bones. Like, even if you sit on the plane for 2 or 3 hours, you are recommended to get up at least to take a walk, along the aisle, because this could create I think something called vein thrombosis, like deep vein thrombosis. So and I cannot I mean, again, this is really, I take ownership of this. I personally am concerned because this will mean that we will need, if people are already stressed post prior COVID, then we can expect the stress level to increase.
Absolutely. And
Only
it will.
because, absolutely, only because there's no human interaction. Basically, any job that requires a close human proximity would just develop paranoia in people because they're
Yep.
afraid they might contract the virus, and then they just want to, stay away from each other. But then again, we are really deviating from nature, our nature,
Yeah.
because we as humans are built for community. We as
I,
humans are built for human interaction. I mean, they
and
recommend,
to be active.
absolutely, like to move. Our bones are designed for movements. As soon as it doesn't move, then we develop illnesses like osteoporosis. Because I remember, like my grandmother, she would move very little, and she did develop osteoporosis.
Yeah.
And so again, like this is really going against nature. Like it is my personal deep hope that we don't reach a point where we totally go like digital for the sake of humanity, like for the sake of human wellness.
I think we're I mean almost we need to I wish we had another hour to go through that. We don't.
Yeah.
But I think I mean a part of the thing, and I would say this to the people watching in YouTube, is that all the advice we're giving right now, this is all kind of individualized, atomized. It's all about the individual, that one person. But humans aren't individuals. We literally we cannot grow up to be able to speak unless we have a community around us. They're like the amount of psychological damage that occurs when people don't connect is immense, and it's one of the things. I mean, if we go on to the next question after that, what jobs will society need most? I want to bring it back to what Soto and said there. We're going to need a lot of psychologists. We're just going to need lots of them.
But then again, with psychologists, again, I mean, it's you pay for it, so that means it's
Yeah.
professional. Again, we
Yeah.
eliminate that factor where we can connect with someone on a genuine, sincere, unpaid basis, because that's what we need. As soon as you pay for something, it's kind of it becomes an obligation. So
Yeah.
obligation is very pressurizing. So although psychologists will be in demand, but that's not necessarily um, healthy for human connection, because we want to find something genuine. That's what we yearn for, to be
Yeah.
wanted. And psychologists don't really want us. They want us for our money, to be fair.
Never been to a psychologist, but I totally agree. We are really skating on the edge of the amount of time that we have, so I'm just gonna get one response that I haven't heard from before. Hi, Ram, not Chef Juno, and that's a. You'll need to unmute.
Okay, sorry.
No worries. I'm just going to quickly. I'm sorry, I may cut you off a little bit in it, but I just want to. There. So here's a quick question. What do you think is the job that companies are most going to want to hire people for?
Of course, obviously, digital things or IT things.
Bingo, just what we were saying there. Okay, next question. Again, this is going to be quick fire, so I do apologize. Which jobs do you think are going to have the lowest pay and the highest pay?
For the highest pay, it's still in IT things or digital things, and for the lowest pay is kind of traditional things like, I don't know, but it's just my opinion, like office, what we call it?
Office worker?
No, like office boy or something like
janitor.
Not very specific skill to do that.
Yeah, because I suspect in the future most of those jobs are going to be done by Roombas, and there's going to be one office boy for an entire building.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking as a person who used to be a janitor and that stuff, I am disappointed about that. But yeah, no, those kind of jobs are going to be gradually replaced, and the ones that still have a job, they're going to be lower and lower paid, which is everything that we've mentioned here are societal problems, but it's stuff that you guys are going to have to navigate. Hopefully in the future, please vote, make society better. But for now, let's stay on those trends. One last question before we move on, because we're very short of time. Which job do you think society will need the most or need most?
For this
Like
situation,
from a moral, spiritual, and psychological perspective.
psychological. Okay, in my opinion, is content creator.
Ah, okay. And I'm going to ask you quick follow-up. Why?
Yeah, because in this pandemic we have a depression time. Sometimes we probably go down because we have stressful, and yeah, we are getting bored, and then the content creator comes to entertain us.
Okay. All hail the content. And I do think it's going to be a very important job in the future. Yeah, the ability to create content. I think we will still need rubbish collectors and people like that. But yeah, content creator is very important as well. Right, we're going to skip over this this question, because I think we have that. So we've talked about organizations, we talked about jobs. Now let's think about you guys. Here's again, I am sorry, I am just throwing down the hard truths at this point. Your parents may have had one job, two jobs, three jobs. You're going to have probably 5 to 15 across your entire career. You're going to be switching you're going to be switching industries. This is just going to be a factor for your life. At this point in my life, I've already had 14 jobs. I may have to count that out in the future, but you guys are going to be exactly the same position. You're probably going to have between about 5 and 15 jobs. You're going to probably shift industries. You're certainly going to shift companies a fair whack. And so this is just something to be aware of. You guys are going to be lifelong learners, which is unfortunate if you hate things. You're going to need to start learning multiple different skills, not just one specialization. If you are, I've been hearing a lot of pharmacists. If you are a pharmacist, you're probably going to need to offset that with a form of creative skills, either in refers to what you were saying about content creation, or maybe you're going to need to learn a bit of psychology about how to manage people who are dealing with medicine. If you are planning to be an accountant, you're probably going to need to learn how to manage code. You're not going to have just one specialization. You're going to have to manage multiple different skill sets. Luckily, there's a lot of opportunity on the internet for learning. We'll go into that in the future. Use what time you have to start figuring out. I wouldn't recommend learn the skills now. I would recommend look at what skills are out there that you could start taking up. Learn what different areas you could get and how they could be brought together to help you shift those careers as you go on. Because again, you're not going to have one job. You're going to have multiple jobs. And your children are almost certainly going to have not thousands, but probably in the region of 20 to 30 different jobs themselves. I have 1 minute. I will make it quick. I do apologize. Most importantly, guys, look after yourselves. Develop communities, make friends, look after your mental health. This is going to be long and hard. You need to have a support system. Don't do this alone. Britzone, I think you guys are doing great things. Work together, learn how to make mistakes in a group and learn how to then fix those mistakes. Your friends are opportunities for learning. They're also opportunities to support you when you're down. Be a part of communities. Individuals don't survive disasters, communities survive disasters. Don't be alone. Good advice for most things. not in the romantic sense, but make sure that you have people around you. Make sure that after this is over, make sure you have a WhatsApp group with each other. Get in contact. Talk about the teacher behind their back when they're gone. Please be nice. I see you smiling, Dickie, not Oliver Stark. Right, at which point I am on my final 30 seconds. So guys, just a quick thingamajig. If you've enjoyed today, we do many events like this. You can find out more about our stuff at CCT Indonesia, or you can contact us for that. If you want to do a quick print screen, you can see that. And then we come to the final bit, which is thank you, Britzone. Thank you so much for providing this opportunity. You guys do great work. And to everybody who's joined today, make use of these guys. This is a really good opportunity for you to learn, practice with each other, develop.
Thank you so much, Jimmy.
You're very welcome. And shall we take a selfie to finish it off?
Okay, thank you so much, Jamie. And I
you so much,
sincerely
Etienne.
appreciate your uh, time today. Thank you for making time for us. And also CCT Indonesia, Malti and Chris, thank you so much for coming. And all of the Britzoners here for your time and attention today. Well, to sum up, I would like to give a little bit of summary. We need to have many different skills, not just one specialization. And we can use our time during this COVID-19 quarantine to upskill our skills, and we can develop communities. Well, you're not alone. We're all in this together. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank
And we're
you.
going to
Thank you.
have a photo station.
Cool.
Okay, strike a pose.
Strike a pose,
Don't know,
everybody.
I'm trying to, what's my
That's
best
a
like?
frame.
I already posed.
Right.
That's
So,
the French
What,
word.
what
The
is,
French word is cool.
is there a Britzone symbol? Is there a thing that you guys traditionally do? Like
Yeah.
Britzone.
Oh my
I
god.
don't think we have.
Yeah, I don't think
Kind
forever.
of.
use it.
Well,
Still forever. Like Wakanda forever.
okay.
Okay.
Britzone forever.
Wakanda forever.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Strike a
Heil
pose,
Hitler.
everybody.
Sorry.
3, 2, 1. Again.
Wait.
Don't move.
Hold up. Wait.
Oh, kind of
Don't move. 1, 2, 3. Again. Don't move. 1, 2, 3. One last time. Okay, don't move. I know that you guys want. I know that you guys wanna appear on our Instagram account. So 1, 2, 3.
Remember,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Rock and roll.
thank you so much,
Thank you,
guys.
Jenny. Thank you